All right, we're back for another Friday financial wrap-up. Without Mr. Michael Zuber, Michael and Olivia are on travel, on holiday. And where are they? Do you remember? You remember? Canada. So I have a special guest, Jordan and Ethan. Check out Ethan's hat. Show them your hat. One rental at a time. And that's Michael Zuber on there. That's Miguel Zuber. Show him Miguel Zuber. So you can buy merch, by the way. Michael has a lot of merch. You can go to one rental at a time. Let's get right into the show. Let me pause this. Let's get right into the show. This is for May the 22nd, 2026. A lot going on. We're going into Memorial Day weekend. This is the Friday Memorial Day weekend. Let's get into the show. National Association of Realtors, pending home sales up 1.4% in April. This was an increase. This is a nationwide number. If you're in the business, it did not feel like pending home sales were up. It felt the opposite. Of course, you know, the end of April, the end of May, or excuse me, the end of April, beginning of May, things felt like they picked up. But again, nationwide, they were up 1.4% increase in pending home sales, and then a 3.2% increase year over year. So what does that mean? Even though it was not a great, they were up 3.2% year over year in 2026 versus 2025. But, again, 2025 was a rough year. Let's keep going, and I'll break it down a little more for you. This is probably the bigger part of the news in that, today's home buyers, they face major decisions, as interest rates have just bounced around. We'll talk about 30-year mortgage rates. But, we all thought rates would be in the fives, right? 5.75, 5.99, maybe even bouncing around 5.5 to 6%. But today's home buyers, a lot of them had just said, you know what, we're going for it. And so again, Americans face major decisions as mortgage rate forecast. It doesn't look like we're headed for fives, at least for a long time. And in fact, at one point this week, again, I'll show you the 30-year mortgage charts. It felt like we were probably headed for 7% versus 5%. So we'll talk about that here more in a moment. Now, to me, this is probably the biggest piece of news this week. The Trump nominated Kevin Warsh will be, in fact, sworn in today. Actually, today, Friday, he will be sworn in. It might even actually be happening as the time that this video gets posted. And that Trump picked Kevin Warsh specifically to cut rates to help, get the American economy going. Now, Kevin Warsh, I've mentioned before in previous episodes. This is a guy that definitely is pro-tech. He knows a lot about, the AI in terms of the, what we'd call maybe an arms race of AI, and that how America wants to be a leader with AI technology, with, a lot of innovation. This is a guy that prior to, his nomination into this new position as the Fed chair, replacing Jerome Powell, Kevin Warsh, had a very, very impressive disclosure showing an impressive portfolio that looked like a guy from, Silicon Valley. This guy looked like a private equity guy from Wall Street and Silicon Valley in terms of the type of investments in his disclosures. This is, I think in a lot of really good ways, a really good Fed nomination. Again, I think this guy is in touch with the modern economy, what's going on today, AI, innovation, chips, what's going on geopolitically. I see this guy, he's in his, I believe, mid-50s, maybe later 50s. So again, he'll be sworn in today. Very interesting. Now, a lot of people originally, when he was nominated, there was a lot of expectation for rate cuts. And so one of the things to consider with all the geopolitical, price of oil, conflict in the Middle East, we're probably not going to see those rate cuts, folks. A lot of talk about inflation. In fact, let's take a look. One thing is absolutely certain is that the bond market does not like uncertainty. This headline from the Wall Street Journal here yesterday talking about the dangerous brew that's rattling the bond markets. The bond markets were wild this week. And, as we know, the 10-year treasury, the 10-year bond is what really drives 30-year mortgage rates. And even as an example, the 30-year, which again, I didn't even know there was a 30-year treasury bond. That I believe was at an all-time 10 or 15-year high this week. Again, 30-year mortgages are tied to a 10-year note. But again, just a lot of uncertainty in the bond market. Again, a lot of concerns about inflation, a lot of concern about government borrowing, a lot of, concern about national debt, what's going on there. And then again, the long-term effects of, how does oil, right? Oil, the price of oil, we had oil over $100 a barrel. We get a ceasefire, it drops down below, $100 a barrel. All of a sudden, then there's more tension in the Middle East. The price of oil shoots up above $100 a barrel. So again, a lot of economic uncertainty. The bond market reacts. So now we saw the 10-year Treasury yield touch the highest in a year. And then even, again, a lot of talk about the 30-year yield. Japan rises to a record high. Again, the U.S., I don't have that stat, but I believe it was like a 10 or 15-year high. So again, a lot of uncertainty in the bond market. Now, why is the 10-year Treasury so important? That's what's directly tied to 30-year mortgages, which we will talk about next. Now, looking at 30-year mortgages, this is a chart from Mortgage News Daily. And if we take a look at this week, we actually hit 6.75. And again, going into the year of 2026, we were talked about this is going to be the year for real estate, for recovery, for stabilization. It felt like, the middle of this week, it felt more like we were headed to 7% interest rates. We hit a high of 6.75. And then if we just look and we just go back to like February, right? If we go just like right back to February, we were basically 5.99 toward the fourth week of February. And so, this has been a wild ride, right? So if this were an EKG, right, maybe an EKG for loan officers and realtors, right, trying to lock rates for their buyer. But if you look at, this wild bounce around. Now, again, 6.75, if we look back and go back a year, let me just take this chart. I like to play with charts. You guys can tell that, when I like to do a little show and tell when we do like, so if we look back, even going back a year, if we go back to January of 2025, we were, 7.25, right? 7.26, and then just kind of slowly coming down. I like the way, again, I love Michael's analogy of falling like a feather. And that's what happened most of 2025. We thought, look, even they've got 5.75 here on this chart, right? So why? We haven't touched it in a very long time. But again, rates, if we look at rates today, 6.65, hopefully trending back to about 6.5, hopefully 6.25. Again, what does this all tie to? This 100% ties to the bond market. The bond market is tying to the conflict in the Middle East, thus the price of oil, right? Why? Because the price of oil is in everything. It's in inflation. It's in groceries. It's in transportation. It's in transportation of ag, farming, everything we do, goods and services, oil's in everything. So time will tell. Hopefully things will begin to improve. Hopefully this peace will the peace talks, they'll get some progress on it, and we'll get some better news as we go forward into feels like summer's right around the corner, huh? Right here. Kids are getting out of school. You saw, we opened the show. My kids are home. They're ready to just drive me crazy. Anyway, I'm ready for it. They don't drive me crazy. It's a lot of fun. So let's continue. Let's keep going. This was another interesting piece of news from California Association of Realtors. The crash bros are just completely getting it wrong. The market is not crashing in spite of the fact that interest rates and longer days on market. And also too, when we see, like as an example, a headline that's been hitting for the last 2 or 3 weeks about inventory, that there's record numbers of inventory. There's 6 months of inventory nationwide, different averages. It might be 4 months, but a lot of headlines talking about longer days on market and a lot of inventory. Well, that's just not the case in California. Inventories are still very tight. Now, across the board, there is more longer days on market, and there are, what I would call B and C marketplaces away from the job centers. If you go, like as an example, in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area, if you go away from Silicon Valley, right? If we go away from Silicon Valley, if you go from, say, San Jose, Silicon Valley, San Mateo, San Francisco, and you go further east into the Central Valley, yes, there's more inventory, but not in the Bay Area, I'll tell you. And then even the same thing, if you go into the coastal markets in Southern California, there is just not a lot of inventory. So if we take a look, how does that really play out into the marketplace? And let's see. So let me get the right screen here. I want to show you this. The Crash Bros got it wrong. They're absolutely wrong. California statewide median home price shattered all-time records. This is wild, right? Think about it, especially for some of our friends who are watching. Like, I've got friends who used to be in California. Now they're in Texas. This is crazy. The median home value is $914,810. And again, driven by what? Driven by inventory shortages. And then, of course, the K-shaped economy, right? The luxury home market, $2, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million properties in the peninsula and Silicon Valley are selling like hotcakes. Why? Stock market is strong, right? The Dow hit a high. A few weeks ago, we had, the S&P hitting all-time highs. So again, statewide median home values, if we take a look at a 2.9% increase in California to 914,000. Existing home sales up 3.9%. Okay, very interesting. And then the luxury boom. And this is in spite of mortgage, again, they put here for the month 6.33. We're probably going to see rates higher for longer. Based on what we see here, I'm thinking that, we'll be lucky to be 6.25 to 6.5, as we bounce around with a lot of uncertainty. And then this is the crazy part: days on market in California. The median time of the market is just 21 days. 21 days. So very interesting times in this marketplace. Let's continue. What does it all mean? It means that we are in an uncertain market. I think the theme that for last year, I think for the last several years, Michael had a great theme in that higher for longer. That's what we're going to see with mortgage rates. I think Kevin Warsh is going to come in. I think that, between Kevin Warsh and you look at in terms of the leadership, in terms of Bill Pulte, and, I think the leadership, you will see them make moves, probably something with buying back mortgage-backed securities, supporting the mortgage-backed securities market. I think some of those things will come. I don't think they're coming in May or June or in the summer months. I think that we need to get into a stable place. Again, these are just my 2 cents in doing this business for 30 plus years. And then, of course, paying a lot of attention, right? Standing on the shoulder of giants, riding Michael's coattails, right? Everything I've learned with Michael doing the show for 5 years. We're going to see higher for longer. So expect that, rates are probably going to bounce around, hopefully in the mid sixes. Hopefully we don't get into a crazy spot of, I would hate to break the threshold of 7%. I think that's going to be really bad for housing if that does happen. What would have to happen? Probably major conflicts, lots of, more bombing and more who knows what in the Middle East. Hopefully we're past that. Hopefully things progress in a peaceful way, or in a, at least, some progress there. So time will tell. But you know what? So much easier to do this show with Michael here. I got to say, he does all the show notes. I get a list. I get to ask him a bunch of questions, to be inquisitive. So Thank you, Michael and Olivia, for all that you do for the One Rental at a Time community. By the way, if you want to get involved with Michael, you want to get involved with the community, again, this is all Michael's deal. Join School, SKOOL, School, the school community. It's an education platform. I know there might be a few people. What is School? It's an education platform. It's $20 a month for Michael. There is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of content in there. A bunch of Zooms, a bunch of recorded content. And then there's a lot of support. There's a lot of people that are active, accountability groups, lots of really good stuff. So again, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and follow. Actually, hold on real quick.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like our videos. Bye.
What about subscribe? What? Do it one more time.
Subscribe, like more.
Go ahead. You're doing good.
Wait, make sure to like, subscribe, watch more videos. Bye.
Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you.